Hey, this is Alex from the Good Old Boys Fantasy Football Podcast. To see more videos like this from the Good Old Boys, hit subscribe and support this independent podcast.
DJ Chark, wide receiver 70, 30 receptions, 52 targets, 502 yards, 3 touchdowns, average of 4.7 targets per game. Thoughts on DJ Chark?
I think DJ Chark might end up being the leading receiver on this Carolina team when it's all said and done with. He's a guy that you can get late, right? Like, I mean, he's not going extremely high in drafts, so there's not a whole lot of risk involved with this. But I think that he still has some explosiveness left in his game. He kind of got buried in the depth chart a little bit up in Detroit, but still, I think he can go down to Carolina and kind of maybe not revitalize his career, but at least be serviceable at this standpoint in his career. So, he's another guy. I expect him to finish kind of top end of wide receiver 3 by the time the season's done with as the team's leading receiver. So he might finish RB 28, 29, somewhere in those ranges as being the top receiver there. But on the flip side, if it doesn't pan out in Carolina, you're looking at he's going to finish wide receiver 55, and you're going to be frustrated. So I'm not targeting any of these Carolina receivers.
Of these wide receivers in Carolina are really guys that I am pursuing. Just because, look, there's a reason why they traded up to go get the number 1 pick. That they needed a quarterback, and it takes time for a quarterback to find their footing in this league. Even coming from the SEC and playing in Alabama is a whole different animal, right? The NFL is so much faster and more complex. And so for that reason, like these wide receivers, they just don't do it for me in Carolina. Not a knock on anybody. It's just the way of the world, right? So I'm out on all of the wide receivers in Carolina. I'll look elsewhere just because I have a little bit more faith in other guys and other quarterbacks. But I agree with you, Kevin. I wouldn't be surprised if he is the number 1 receiver in terms of stats when it's all said and done. I just don't think there's going to be a lot there to justify having any of them occupy a roster spot.
Okay, I'll be the odd man out here. I'm okay taking DJ Chark, especially where he's coming off the board at. You're talking way late, kind of that one. I've seen that range anywhere from about 140 to 180 as far as kind of that ADP concerned. So you're talking way late. You're talking 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th round type of thing where you're throwing darts anyway. And I'll take the dart shot on a guy that has the speed, can play on the outside, it can play the contested catch, especially like him in a best ball type of format there. Right, like DJ Chark's got that 4.3 type of speed and has the big frame out there. We've seen him do it in the past. Granted, it's been a couple of seasons removed at this point with an injury in there, but still, I would be willing to take the shot on that one because I think you're right. I think we could see he end up producing the most stats on this one, and wouldn't surprise me to the point where when it's all said and done, we see a guy get somewhere around 110 to 120 targets, 80 receptions for 800 to 900 yards and 6 touchdowns. Like that easily puts him up fringe wide receiver 2 territory. And I'm okay having taken a shot on a guy in the 12th round that has that kind of upside.